So the Middle Eastern part of this map is getting really intense. We've got some really powerful nations all bordering each other, all with massive militaries. I'm just waiting to see what kind of breaks out into war first. Like we saw in the last video, I mean, the top 5 most powerful nations, besides Scotland, obviously, are in the Middle Eastern region. Russia, Egypt, Byzantium, and the Hittites. And they almost border every single other nation, except for Byzantium and Egypt. But everybody else, I mean, they all border each other, which is a big, big deal now. So I don't know. I guess we should kind of figure out our predictions now. I mean, who's going to go to war with each other first? I guess if it went to, like, out of all these 4 nations, what war will break out first? I'm thinking it's going to be Egypt versus the Hittites. I think that's the war that'll break out first, and that will kind of spur a pretty big downfall, I think, in the region where Constantinople, Theodora might think, okay, I got to get a piece of this. I got to get a piece of the fall of the Hittites. Maybe Russia tries the same thing. That's my prediction. It's only just because of the kind of the geographical location of the Hittites. They're in a really unfortunate spot because, even if Russia loses the former Armenian capital or this Armenian city here in the mountains, I mean, they're still fine. They still have a huge chunk of land. They still have mainland Russia here in the northern part of the Black Sea, or just north of the Black Sea. So they'll be fine. The Hittites, on the other hand, I mean, they're screwed. Egypt is kind of cornered off, and same thing for Byzantium. They're cornered off here. Obviously, ocean. They control a huge fleet, but the Hittites are not. They're right smack dab in the middle. I think if anything, Egypt will declare war on the Hittites, and it'll be really, really disastrous for that particular nation. But at the same time, you're talking about a lot of growth that would come from both Egypt and Byzantium. Now, if that were to happen, that'd be a pretty big issue, because I fear that Byzantium wouldn't join in until it was too late, or they wouldn't join in at all. That would be a huge issue, because then you're talking about Egypt gaining a whole lot more strength. 4 additional cities, all coastal too, or almost all coastal. 3 out of 4 of the cities coastal on the eastern part of the Mediterranean. So that would be really, really bad. Right now, Egypt only has 1 coastal city in the Mediterranean, and it's pretty successful. Obviously, it's not as successful as the Byzantium fleet in the Mediterranean, but it's pretty dang good. Songhai and Ottomans have declared war. So if they gain even more, then yeah, you can expect a bigger fleet in the Mediterranean by Ramses. But for now, it's obviously, this is certainly Byzantium's territory here. The Hittites are doing pretty good with their navy, but it's kind of all spread out. Iceland, Poland, and Spain all going after the Ottomans. We'll have to see if Russia goes after them. I don't think they will. Even if they did, they don't really have an infrastructure to get over towards Izmir fast enough, and they don't really have a fleet at all in the Caspian Sea. Plus, these cities are puppets. So, yeah, they're puppets. Oh, the Sumer might be able to do something though. There you go, Sumer. They maybe they don't have that many units, but you never know. That's an interesting little war that kind of popped up. 2 of the most powerful nations in this map going at it. Sumer and the Ottomans. Pretty crazy stuff. Also in the last video, we saw Stockholm fall, and that was big. Again, thousands of years in the making, and finally Norway was able to, finally get the job done. It was about time. It took long enough. It took a very, very long time. I don't even know how they did it, because it didn't look like they had that many units. They might have got lucky. I don't know. But they did it without a fleet. Wow, look at the Scottish and Celtic units here in the North Sea. Boom, Carthage has made her landing inside of Europe. Wow, I don't know if she's going to be able to hold on to that. But this is big, because she also controls Sardinia. Now, will Milan, who's going to go after Carthage? That's the thing. Also, don't count out the Swiss. They've got a pretty powerful military for only having 3 cities and them all being spread out. So don't count them out, although I feel like Switzerland might be constantly in fear of a Spanish attack in Iberia. That might kind of, keep them from going to war with somebody like Carthage, attaining new land here in the southern part of Europe. Spain and Austria peaced out. Ottomans, Rome peaced out. Next turn. Again, Utrecht still under siege, but just not happening, just not going so well. Poland still after the Netherlands, and again, it looks like Poland has finally started to really lose a big chunk of their units. Look at this. They're down to about 7 units that are still in the siege. So almost the first My prediction might almost come true. We would need someone like Germany or Hungary to declare the war. Now, I think I saw Hungarian troops inside of mainland Poland, so it might not happen. Ooh, Hungary and Rome going after Bulgaria now. Now, Hungary won't be able to do much unless, of course, they have open borders through the Goths, but I don't think that's going to happen because the Goths and Hungary don't really like each other. So yeah. So I don't know if that's going to work out. Let's see what this ideology was. France has chosen autocracy. Okay. And, okay, so there we go. It's about time. Poland is kind of smartened up, and now they're going after Rotterdam. That might help out a little bit. And they also have a artillery. Well, I mean, Amsterdam is kind of Williams moved around some of his units, and there's actually a artillery unit inside of Rotterdam instead of Amsterdam now. So that was a pretty smart move. They've got to utilize this cannon unit though, but he's got to obviously move across the river, which is going to eat up a movement. He'll eventually probably get destroyed, but he might distract the Great War Infantry for long enough. Turn 382, Manhattan Project. The first Manhattan Project has been built, and it has been built by Egypt. There we go. That could really set some things off in this region. Whole nuclear part of this game. That'd be pretty big, kind of crazy. Oh, there we go. England decided to bite the bullet and go after the Celts. Remember, England has a huge fleet inside of the English Channel, and a lot of the Celtic Sea naval units were actually thinking about going and attacking Amsterdam. They're probably going to have to retreat from the North Sea and kind of wrap around towards Ireland to protect the southernmost Celtic city. They're going to need to do that fast, though. And remember, I mean, the Celtic navy units, they're behind in technology. These caravels can't outmatch, especially the Ship of the Lines. Not only Ship of the Lines, there's a lot of privateers, though. I didn't recognize that. Wow, this is going to be big. And we might see a siege of York, a small siege of York, but honestly, the nation that's going to benefit from this war the most is going to be Scotland. Scotland, out of all these nations, have still the biggest military, and if they're just going to throw it at each other, this might be a huge mistake that Elizabeth is doing. This might be a massive mistake. Now, the thing with Scotland, though, is I'm thinking that Scotland would want to go after England because I think they like the Celts. They're going to need open borders through the Netherlands, and I don't think they like each other right now. I don't think they're on the best of terms. Scotland and Austria have peaced out. So this is heavily going to benefit the Scottish of the North because these guys are just going to just destroy their navies, absolutely destroy their navies. And if Scotland's smart enough, they'll go after this. Again, Buddhism as the world's religion. We'll see if that passes. And another banning of a luxury. Pretty much we're going to have no luxuries by the end of this game. Everyone's going to be embargoed. All the luxuries are going to be banned. I mean, it's going to be a pretty unhappy world, I guess you could say. We should probably check on happiness, too. Happiness has been kind of a up and down thing for especially the nations that chose to not go down order. It's been a pretty big mess. Celts are still going to try to go after Amsterdam. They're not going to have a good time though. Facing 4 submarine units, they are not going to have a good time at all. Again, Scotland has not decided to bite the bullet against Norway just yet. Rotterdam is down half health. There's still 6 units. 6 units? Yeah, 6 units left. There are 6 units left. Maybe Poland might be sending over a little bit more. Boom. A few turns later, Byzantium getting up their own Manhattan projects. Milan and the Celts have declared war on each other. Poland and the Netherlands have peaced out. I'm sorry. I don't know why that took me so long to register. There you go. So they've survived, and Poland has lost a big chunk of their units. The thing is, they still have a lot of their numbers being pulled up because of the Navy in the Baltic Sea, but if Germany and Hungary were to declare war on Poland, they wouldn't have to worry about that. They wouldn't have to worry about that at all. The Goths going after Milan. Milan is big. They've got a big navy, or a big army. A lot of riflemen, a lot of cavalry units too. Spain still trying so hard for Utrecht, just trying so hard. Let's see here. Of course, the banning of silver was passed, and no. If no one votes for Buddhism, then you're not going to be able to pass Buddhism, Hungary. I don't understand that. If you don't vote for it yourself, I'm seeing all nays. Am I missing the yays? Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Jeez, just a massive naval battle going on here between the British Isles. This is crazy. Bulgaria and England. Remember, there's a war for Bulgaria, but I can't remember if anyone... Hungary declared war on Bulgaria, but, you know, they can't really move throughout these mountains. The Goths, I'm waiting for the Goths to do it, though. I'm very saddened that we have to look at all these damn archaeologists again. Just AI is not allowed to build archaeologists. That seems like an easy mod. No archaeologists. I understand that kind of defeats the purpose of, you know, archaeological sites and stuff like that, but dang, they just built so many of them. Like, how did that get through development? You know what I mean? Like, how was that, like, yeah, that's fine. I know the AI builds, like, 3 times more archaeologists than the military units, but it's fine, just push it out. Brave New World was a really good expansion, don't get me wrong, but it is a little bit crazy that kind of got through development, because they did this. Apparently, the developers did these AI-only battles just by themselves. They didn't call them AI-only battles. They just watched the AI move just like we did, just like we are right now, and they'd study them and see if the AI was, you know, working correctly. I don't understand how this got through. Like, yeah, it's fine, just pump it out. I don't know, but okay. I don't know why it's making me laugh so much. It's just kind of a funny thing. It's just hilarious. It's just like, yeah, it's fine. It's cool. Just get it out there. Hittite are... Wait a second. When did they grab this? Wait, when was that? This is a puppet. Wait, I don't remember this. Did they already have... They always have this city? It's not a resistance. Is it a city that got converted? Now, Egypt's really influential. There's no way that city got converted, I don't think, through, like, ideologies or civil resistance or anything like that. I don't think. I don't remember that, though. I don't remember. Maybe I'm smoking crack. Maybe it happened, like, you know, it's 20 videos ago. I'm shocked. I don't remember that at all. Spain has denounced Venice. Atomic era for Poland. Bulgaria has denounced Germany. No more wars. Still pretty peaceful time, though. I mean, it's... Oh, look at how close Utrecht is to falling. There's no melee units, though. This would be a good time for Carthage to sweep in there. Just boom, swoop. They could totally go for the swoop. France has been so quiet. Why has France been so quiet? I bet you they might not be quiet for much longer if England loses enough troops here. It looks like they're really starting to dominate the Celtic Navy here. I'm wondering what this sea zone is called. I need to figure this out. What is the sea zone in between? I just in this region. Wait a second. Why does the Celts have... I think that might seriously be the crack, but that capital does not look familiar. I've played the Celts before. That does not seem like the capital's name for the Celtic AI. Am I just forgetting something? Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure it's the Scottish AI capital. Yeah, so that's interesting. Huh. I think that's what happened. It's the Scottish AI's capital is something like that. I'm thinking too hard. My brain's going to explode. Anyways, let's check in on Songhai. I just saw their turn process. How are they doing? Their military is building back up, so that's a start. They could go after Carthage. Carthage has obviously a much bigger land force than they did in the past, so it wouldn't be as easy enough of an opportunity. Now, here's the thing, though. Spain is really heavily invested in caravans going towards Songhai territory. So would Songhai still want to break that alliance or break that small sort of economic friendship for a war for just one city? And obviously, this city is not going to contribute that much. It's going to give them more land. And I also want to see like what they do with these. So these coastal cities are still puppeted. So I'm not sure exactly what they can do. 3 great war bombers, I'm guessing, right? Didn't we check on this? Yep. I don't know how I guessed that. I don't know how I remember that at all. I barely remember anything. Oh, look at this. Who is this? Hungary. Boom. Popping out a city somehow, I'm thinking through Russian territory, maybe through a Russian open borders agreement. Maybe something like that. Let's check in on England. I don't know. I know they've had open borders through the Netherlands for a while, but I don't know why they're moving privateers up this way. France has denounced Germany. Germany and Venice are now friends. Milan, I'm thinking, is going after soon, is going to be going after the final Venetian city. Who stole away this land? Oh, that was, there was like little chunks of tiles going to Venice. Rome slapped down a citadel here. Yeah, I'm thinking Rome might break Venice from this game, tear Venice away from this game soon. Although Milan could do it pretty easily too. It could do it really easily. Switzerland hasn't done much, but again, my theory is that Switzerland's too afraid of the Spanish AI to declare any offensive war themselves, which is a smart move. Although, actually, maybe it's not, because naturally these cities are just hard to take because of all the rough terrain surrounding them. So Utrecht is down in the red, but there are no melee units. They've got to get this Spanish paratrooper in there fast enough. Now, this is all... these are, well, grasslands and then a hill, so they could get there in 2 turns. It's fresh. They'd have to keep Utrecht into the red, but because they've got a machine gun just to the south, they'd be able to do it. They actually might be able to do this. Turn 388, entering almost 390. It's 1968 AD. Really haven't seen any sort of big, I don't think, world wars. I mean, kind of the game, I guess the entire game has been almost a world war because of all the wars that have happened, but I think a world war, technically in the era, kind of the later game, hasn't really happened. We've seen big wars, but they've just been one nation, single nations going after each other. I think we're still getting ready. I think the world's still preparing itself. We still have about 100 turns, a little bit over 100 turns in this campaign. Things will go down, that's for sure. Iceland and Austria have peaced out. Sweden and Austria have peaced out. So Sweden is still alive with this one city. And Norway's trying for it, but again, they're making the same mistake they have the entire game, at least in terms of for Stockholm, is that they're embarking units, and that's never the way to go. It's always never really going to work. Yeah, oh, well, there you go. I mean, they've gotten into the yellow, and this city only has 50 city defense, so it's not, like, amazing or anything like that. Poland not doing anything. They've got no military, almost no military, virtually no military. Clearly, the Hungarians and Germany have an okay relationship, enough of an okay relationship because of the open borders between the two. So that's interesting. I do see a German settler that I don't know if they're going to try something here. They'd have to send that on like a pretty big adventure. Did they get this city up recently? This has 8 population. I think I've seen it here, but that seems kind of new for some reason. How the Celts doing? It seems like they're both just really kind of grinding each other down. They look about the exact same size still. Kind of an interesting choice by Elizabeth. I wouldn't have recommended it, but at least Scotland so far hasn't decided to capitalize on them. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. They haven't been too mean. Utrecht will probably fall, I'm thinking, next turn. Bulgaria and Carthage have peaced out. There goes... Oh, there it is. It's in the red, and you have a cavalry. Boom. Utrecht is finally going to fall. The Netherlands will be down to just their 2 cities, Rotterdam and Amsterdam. Russia's given Bulgaria a peace deal. Sweden and Milan have... For some reason... Sweden, Venice, Milan. Why? Really, shouldn't you guys be working together? Feel like you guys should be working together. All right, and then we'll go one more turn to see exactly if Utrecht falls, which it probably will. I think William's turn processes first. He'll do some damage to Spain, but man, this is probably the first. Well, I mean, Spain took away that Moroccan city, but this is like among the. They've taken away 2 cities in the last like maybe 150 turns, maybe even more than that, 200 turns. Spain was really aggressive really early, and then they just stopped. They didn't do anything else after that. So it's like, it's just weird to see them now start to expand again. I feel like it's taken forever. Sweden and France, the weaker nations are all... I feel like the weaker nations should pull together. That should be a mechanic. These one-city nations should be pulled together in like coalitions for sure, defensive pacts. You know what I mean? To keep those weaker nations alive. And just waiting. Here goes the Netherlands, and Spain, I think, goes right after. Celts have denounced Egypt. And here goes Spain. Boom. There it goes. Finally. Spain only has to take over 2 more cities, and that's from the Swiss. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.